Tuesday, October 15th, 2019. Time is 9 o'clock on the dot. And do we have any additions to the agenda?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, we have an addition which our county council will help with, and we also are pulling item 2B, doc number 5647.
Yes, Chairman, 2B is an item for closed session under real property negotiations, and we noticed that some APNs for county-owned property are not included, and so we request that this gets pulled so that these APN numbers can be added to the agenda and placed on a future Board of Supervisors meeting agenda. With regards to a subsequent need item that came to the board's attention after the agenda was posted, and there is a need to take some action, the request is to add an item under Government Code Section 54957, Public Employee Employment, and the title of the position is County Librarian. There's a 2/3 vote required for consideration on this item.
And do you want to read in 2C?
Yes, the other two items for closed session are Government Code Section 54957, Public Employee Employment. The title of the position is Animal Service Director, and that's 2C.
All right. Does anyone want to make a motion to find that we need to add?
I move that we take up this item and find the need to add it rose after the posting of the agenda.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Madam Clerk?
Call for the vote. Supervisor Rogers?
Yes.
Supervisor Wheeler?
Yes.
Supervisor Rodriguez? Yes. Supervisor Poitras?
Yes.
Supervisor Frazier?
Yes.
Vote passes 5-0.
Is there any public comment on the closed session items? Seeing none, I'll call close to the public comment portion, and we will move to the back room.
Okay.
If everyone can please take their seats, we're going to get started now. You need Letty? Letty?
Don't want to listen to you.
All right. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to a regular meeting of the Madera County Board of Supervisors. Today is Tuesday, October 15th, 2019. The time is 10:02. County Council, is there anything to report out of closed session?
There are no reportable actions from closed session, and just to be clear for the record, item A and B were not read into the record or discussed during closed sessions. There were just two items under public employee employment. Thank you.
And there was also an added item that we had voted on to finding that it had come after the posting of the agenda.
Correct, that was under public employee employment for the title of positions, Animal Service Director and the County Librarian.
All right, and opening and closing the meeting in memory of, is there anybody that anyone would like to open and close the meeting in memory of?
Not this time. Nice not to have.
That's a good week then, that's
Yeah.
always, all right. We'll have the invocation from Pastor Mike Farmer of the 4th Street Church of God, and our Pledge of Allegiance will be led by our DA, Sally Moreno.
Please join with me in prayer. Heavenly Father, we're so grateful for this place that you've blessed us with. Lord, I thank you for the men and women that you've raised up to look over this county, to protect us, to serve us by protecting us. Thank you for each one. Ask for blessings upon them. And Lord, during the course of this meeting, I'm just once again grateful for your presence here. Ask that you would guide and direct all the discussion. And may everything bring glory and honor to your name, because it is in you, our God, that we trust. Amen.
I'd like to ask military members in or out of uniform, anybody with prior service experience, to please render the proper hand salute in accordance with military regulations. Ready? Salute. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. Item 4, public comment.
Public comment. The first 15 minutes of each regular session are set aside for members of the board, of the public, to address the board on any matter under the jurisdiction of the board but not appearing on the agenda. The board will not take action on any items presented under public comment. Speakers are limited to 3 minutes. Anyone addressing the board is asked to print their name clearly on the speaker sheet at the podium and state their name and county of residence for the record.
Morning, Mr. Chairman. Mike Gonzalez, Madera County Department of Corrections, Assistant Director. Last evening, you may have heard on Channel 47 News that they did a small report on the visitation system at Madera County Department of Corrections. I'd like to give you a little update of where we're at with that problem that we're having out there. On October 4th, our video visitation system, hardware, software completely crashed. So we're down without visitation since October 4th. So we immediately made contact with county IT. We started corralling the right people to get them on board so we can look at this problem. For the public, we also notified Madera County 311, so they put it on the website as well. So constituents wouldn't be coming down off the hill or from local municipalities to do the visit, and to minimize the inconvenience to the families. We also went out on our website, posted it on there that we would have updates as we moved along with this. But we did keep the business office open so that the family members can come and put money on the inmates' account so they can keep going as far as we could. They still have availability to write, and they still have availability to call home if they want to. So we're just keeping the public updated as we move forward. With that said, we still have a team working on the problem right now. Our current tablet contractor, Indovo, is currently working with us so that we can temporarily set up the tablets that we have in place now to use those as a visitation tool, so until we get the problem formally fixed and we go out and look at it. And we're going to be working with a contractor that's on board now to see how we can do that. Now, we know when we deal with technology, it gets very pricey, very quick. We don't want to do a knee-jerk solution here. We want to really take our time to look at it, but expeditiously do so that we can get the problem fixed. Today, they are doing some testing with the tablet system. I'm being briefed that by 3 o'clock today, we will know if that's going to be fruitful. We're very positive that it will be. Once that we have done that, we've tested it, then we'll notify the public through media that we're able to do that. Visitation will be back open, and we continue forward. And then we can effort at a more finalized solution, the best cost-effective way, so that we can get the system fixed, updated, implemented, and move forward. So that's where we are with the system today. Is there any questions that I can
Good job.
give you? All righty? I just wanted to mention that we have a lot of people working on this. County IT, fabulous. They were abreast of the problem, met with us that next Monday morning, did an outstanding job. County Council's looking at contracts for us. So we're moving everything along as quick as we possibly can.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Very good job.
Good morning, Sally Moreno, your district attorney. I live in Madera County. I'm here to just kind of update you about how things are progressing in our office and to give you a ton of good news of things that are happening. We're getting ready to launch our new file management carpel. That will go out on November the 4th. That's going to give us the ability to go to less paper and to manage our large files. In fact, we've got a large file right now that we just finished with. It's over 22 boxes. And that's one of the first things that we're hoping to get scanned so that we can shred that and have that stored electronically rather than all those boxes in our space. We also have reorganized to focus on violent crime and on special victims in Madera County. So we have a special victim team that focuses on sexual assaults, domestic violence, and human trafficking. And we also have a violent crime team that focuses on homicides and gangs. That allows those prosecutors to have a smaller caseload to focus on those cases and make sure we're getting dispositions that make Madera safer. These two items together will allow us to go out and pursue grants. And I'm going to make the acquaintance more and more intimately of Tristan, who I know looks for grants for us in the county, because we can now document what we do and document our dispositions. And that's what people are looking for. If they're going to give you money, they want to know that they're getting their money's worth. So that's going to enable our office to grow and spread our wings. I will note, too, that we received Lexapol authorization from this board to get Lexapol for our office. Probation is following, and the sheriff has it. That's a great boon to us, and I wanted to say thank you. That enables us to get our investigators' policies straightened out and on board, because we have an obligation legally to post those and make them publicly available the first of the year. So we're ready to do that, thanks to your support. We also have our authorization to do Celebrite, so we can support the sheriff's office, support smaller agencies. The sheriff also has Celebrite. Smaller agencies, they don't have it. And the other thing that happens is in trial, the defense will switch their tactic. And now we need to go back and look at these phones for new info. And we can do that on the fly in trial, so our prosecutors have the tools they need to do things properly. We're getting justice for our community, particularly up in the mountain areas. We have a mountain prosecutor who's focused there, and we just settled the murder of Bonnie Hale. We spoke intensively and in detail with those victims, and we reached a resolution that was good for everybody. It involves an admission to the homicide, the elder abuse, and a significant amount of time.
So they were satisfied, the Hill family?
Yes, we spoke with them. We went up and used the sheriff's substation to speak with them and make sure that they were on board before we
Right.
did anything else.
Thank you very much.
And that's because we have a prosecutor dedicated to supporting that mountain community. We're also in trial on another special circumstance murder. And I just personally finished a special circumstance murder, so we're moving through the backlog. Those are cases that had been in our office. And finally, we're staffing up and interviewing. I know I'm over, so I'm just going to introduce our best coup, a great new assistant district attorney. I think you'll be as impressed as I am and as glad as I am to have him on. I'll let him introduce himself. Jeff Dupras, our new assistant district attorney.
Justin, you said?
Jeff.
Jeff Craw.
Good morning. Thank you for allowing me this opportunity, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. I'm actually really excited to be here, specifically in the Madera DA's office, not necessarily standing here, but I always appreciate the opportunity to meet new people, and specifically this body. I'd like to really thank District Attorney Sally Moreno. We're long-term friends. We've known each other for over 20 years now. First met actually in the Fresno DA's office, which is where I'm from. And I'll be perfectly candid with you, that's my home county. That's where I live.
Too bad.
I know, I know. And then quite frankly, that's what I'm finding out. And I really want to thank her for her understanding that I wanted to come to Madera County before I knew I wanted to come to Madera County. Just to give you just a little bit of background, I am born and raised in Fresno and quite frankly educated in Fresno as well. I've never lived anywhere else, never wanted to live anywhere else. I know a lot of conversations talk about that you have at dinner parties is, where else can we live besides California? I don't know if I can find a place where else I want to live besides the Central Valley in California. Northport. It's a nice place. I do like
Got rid of the murderer, so I'm happy now.
Well, we can help with that. I have over 20 years as a prosecution experience. I've prosecuted serious gang members, murderers, and then most recently I was working with District Attorney Lisa Smith-Camp in her administration and helping her run that office for the last several years. So I'm excited to bring those experiences over to Madera. I'll tell you what I've found, though, is I've found that Sally's done just an amazing job in the short time that she's been in this office, and they have some great prosecutors in that office. The good news is, but it's also kind of the bad news, double-edged sword, is that they don't have the volume that we have in Fresno. In other words, they don't get to see a bunch of murderers and rapists. They have a few, and so they don't get that depth and breadth of
Take
experience.
care of them before they get there.
And so I'm hoping to bring my experience dealing with those kinds of cases and help them move forward with getting to that next level. This 21st century prosecution that we have with these new laws that seem to coddle offenders and not help out victims as much, and there are a lot of strategies that we can do. Of course, our charge is to follow the law, even though we may not agree with it, but really what we're supposed to be doing and what we do at the DA's office is justice, and that's justice for everyone, offenders, but most especially victims. Thank you so much for this opportunity to address you. I look forward to getting to know each and every one of you. Supervisor Poitras, it was nice to see you again. I got to meet you the other day. You just happened to be in your office. And getting to know my new Madera County family. Like I said, I spent a lot of time in Fresno and a lot of people that are near and dear to me there, and I know that my time here will be the same, and I'm really looking forward to it, so thank you.
Welcome aboard, yeah. Sally, what happens if that computer that you're putting all that stuff in crashes like manuals did?
Well,
mic's on here.
here's the good news. It's actually not stored on the computer. It's a cloud-based storage system
Oh,
that
okay.
we
Like
looked
I got
into
on here
before
then.
we got Carpel, right? So just like your OneNote, if you use OneNote, wherever you go, you can log in and have access to that. And it's double backed up. It complies with all the state-required security requirements.
Thank you for everything. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Any other, yeah. Today, for public comment, we're working backwards through the criminal justice system. We started at incarceration to prosecution and now law enforcement.
Good morning, Board. I'd like to just introduce myself. My name is Hector Madrigal. I'm the new commander here at the Madera CHP, and I too come from Fresno, so something's in the water up here in Madera that's bringing us those Fresnoites up here. But just look forward to partnering up, working with community concerns, issues with traffic, address safety matters, make partnerships in the community to make this community safer. I come from 25-year law enforcement experience. I've worked in several parts of the state. Central Valley is my home, and Madero is my home now. So I look forward to meeting you all and in hearing from the public any concerns that may arise that we can assist and collaborate to ensure that, you know, everyone traveling through Madera, living in Madera as well, is safer.
safe, yeah.
Yes, so thank you.
Well,
What you do.
yeah, no kidding.
Excuse me.
Thank you for what you
Oh.
do, and you have a bunch of great guys and
Yeah.
gals that work for you, and it's really awesome.
And
Thank you very
welcome, you guys are all welcome to the biggest little county in the whole state of California, so we're the
Thank you very
best.
much.
Can I go now?
You're welcome, everybody. I figured it was necessary. Supervisor Wheeler?
Yeah, thank you. First of all, I don't see Becky Martinez in here, but if you guys seen it, I think it was Sunday's paper, Brandy Orth wrote an article about the new voting system, that we were the first in the county, I mean, in the state to do that, one of 5. Now Fresno's joined on, and I think there's about, in this article, I think there was like 10 more counties in the state now. So now there's 15 of the counties doing that, and I really was pleased the way the results were last year, and I think this is the way to go for the whole state. I just hope everybody does it. But she made the front page, a picture of it, and it's Brandy Orr's, their clerk in Fresno's deal. So I thought that's pretty cool. The second thing is that I missed last board meeting last week, and I don't miss very many meetings in 12 plus years I've been on this board. But I had my eyes operated on, so I'd have a good mass for the Halloween coming up, and on Monday, and then Wednesday, I had my hernia operated on, and I thought I could, after I had the eyes operated, I could just come and drive down here, but I couldn't see nothing. They're all full and shut. So I missed last week's board meeting. I hate it, but I just want everybody to know that I don't miss them very much, and
We know that.
I won't miss no more, I hope,
Yeah.
so.
Well, you're good for another 20 years now.
I'm good for another 20 years. You're darn right, man. Thank you, Rob. That's it.
All right. Oh, I had one, I just thought it was a great thing at the Rancho's Youth Football. They had a salute to service this past week, and had the cheerleaders bring in a large flag, and so I just thought it was really cool that they were doing that at that young of an age, just understanding why they were able to be out there playing football was because of the sacrifices of the brave women and men that serve in our armed services. So I just thought I wanted to highlight that. I thought it was a pretty cool thing that they did, and we're standing up, and they have a thing that they played over the loudspeaker while they're walking out, and I look over at my wife, and both of us got tears rolling down our eyes. We're like, we didn't come here to cry, but my goodness, it really hit home. So, all right, if there's no further public comment, I'll call close to public comment, and we will go to the consent calendar. Are there any items, any member, Supervisor Wheeler?
Yeah, on item C, I only got one this time.
Oh.
I couldn't get to work last night, but our IT, like I always do, got it going this morning for me. I couldn't open it up for some reason. That's the only one out of all the stuff on the thing that wouldn't open up my iPad. But anyway, on item C, it's the Art Council Authority, which we all voted on in April, I think, to pass that, to do it, which I think is very important for us. But they're requesting $56,666. I looked at the backup, and it says that the Arts Council is putting $25,000 in, and the school and the city is putting the same amount. It's not in here, and it said that this won't be passed through until they get their money in, or it's just kind of, oh, man, Nick.
Yeah, Morning, Mr. Chairman.
That's right,
members
your
of the
name's
board.
on here, I've seen it.
Nick Salinas, Chief of Staff, Supervisor Porter. So the item you're looking at is an amendment to the original resolution. You are correct, it was contingent upon the MUSD, city and county.
Right.
The Arts Council itself, though, did commit voluntarily $25,000.
Over and above the 56 everybody else is putting in?
Correct. They weren't tied to being original contributing member. So what we're looking to do is keep moving the project forward. Across the street, they've been having some challenges. They're going through an audit. So in order to get the feasibility study off the ground, to hire a consultant, we're just asking that we move forward And then once they're situated across the street, we can ask for the
about
matching
the school?
funding. So, I'm sorry?
How about the school?
Schools can, yeah, they're ready to go.
They're ready to put it in?
Yes.
And they put in 56,000.
Correct. We're just going to, once we get this approved, we'll send out invoices to the county, school district, and then once the city's situated over there, we'll be requesting the same amount of funding. So,
We were told that the city is waiting for their audit, and their audit should be done in December, so,
We could get Todd to go there and help them.
yeah, that would be good. Let's contact Todd, so.
Got ours done quick.
Got it done, so we're, so I'm not sure what the audit is going to show regardless of what they already know, so, but the idea would be pushing for January for the city's contribution.
Okay. It's a great project, and to preserve that building and do it like we voted on in April, I think was the best thing we've done for a long time, so.
Yeah, if we want to be the best, biggest county in the biggest, smallest state, and the best place to live, work, and play, if you don't have the arts,
Can't beat that, any way you look at it. Thank you, Nick. That's all I had, Bob.
Supervisor Rodriguez has a question.
Turns out the city, with their audit, and they can't contribute the money they're supposed to, what happens then?
then we would continue to move forward with the project, and depending on what the consultant, says, what direction we're able to go, would determine whether we're going to call it there or we'll continue to move forward. But this would alleviate them from having to contribute to move forward. So,
All right. Any other items wishing to be pulled? Thank you, Nick. If not, any public comment on the consent calendar? Seeing none, I'll call close to the public comment.
Move to approve the consent calendar?
Rob, I think hit it.
Rob, did you want to make the motion?
No, he,
Go ahead.
I don't care.
Max and I tied for the second.
yeah.
Oh, okay.
And then the tiebreaker was who rang it in on the screen too. All right, roll call.
Call for the vote. Supervisor Wheeler?
Yes.
Supervisor Poitras?
Yes.
Supervisor Rodriguez? Supervisor Rogers?
Yes.
Supervisor Frazier?
Yes.
Vote passes 5-0.
Just real quick, Brett, I did mention how we should thank Becky for being the leader on this too, by going out and hustling us and showing us how great this voting thing would be. And they actually had her go talk to them in Fresno about how great it worked here. So thank Becky for all the work she done and her staff, so.
Thank you, Becky.
uh,
Again.
Yeah.
All right, there are no public hearings today, so we'll move right into public session 6A.
6A, Board of Supervisors, Department District Number 1, presentation of the 2019 Chairman's Culture of Excellence Awards.
We're now in the third quarter of these. Continue to have a lot of great nominations. I love going through the nominations and just seeing how many great things that we're doing on a day in, day out basis. It's really showed me even more that we have this culture of excellence here within our organization, and just makes me more and more proud of the hard work that we put in every day on the front lines, and just want to thank everybody in this organization for continuing that culture of excellence. And so we have our 5 different sections. We'll start today with developmental services. And this is going to go to our code enforcement officers. I know a lot of people are code enforcement in the past, not here, but I've had issues. That was the biggest calls I would get. And I've seen with our code enforcement team that they're not there to be the hammer. They're there to help people through and get to some kind of resolution. And a story that I had from a constituent of mine that was operating a auto mechanic shop out of his house. He was good with cars, first started having, friends would bring their cars to him and he'd fix them, and then friends of friends would bring their cars to him and he'd fix them, and then friends of friends of friends would bring their cars to him and he'd fix them, and soon the empty lot across from his house was filled with cars, and because he was so good, he grew so fast, and went from just helping people to running a business. And needless to say, people in the area were like, "Why are there so many cars here? They're broken down and this and that." And so code enforcement went out, and this is a great guy in the ranch, very. He's got a big personality, and I was pretty worried, as they were going out there, that this was going to cause some strife. And they went out, made the first contact with him, and didn't come in and say, "How dare you?" It was, "Look, you started this, it got out of control, let's help you resolve this," and ended up helping him find a place in an industrial area that is zoned for it, and he moved out there. And I saw him, and the next time I saw him, I was like, "I don't know where this is going to go." And he says, "Your code enforcement officers were the best thing that's ever happened to me." And he said, "I never knew, my business is even better now. I don't have any, I'm not limited from the space that I have in my own garage." He goes, "I wish, had I known about this, I would have done this 5 years ago." And so that's the difference between just coming in and finding somebody and going in and understanding what the issue is, and helping that person to get into compliance. And they do that with everybody. And except if they're growing marijuana illegally, then it's a little different, right? There's not a whole lot of compliance there. But so sometimes when they come back from the field and they smell like marijuana, it's not because they've been smoking, it's because they've been carrying it out and they have to show pictures. So look where I was, yeah. But I just can't thank them enough for what they do, and they go out with a heart for the people, and in very tough situations, and help people. And that's a hard thing to do from someone who's coming in to tell somebody how they can or can't live, or how they can or can't operate a business. So with that, I think we'll come down here now, right? I think this will be the last one I do from here. You guys want to come down? Okay.
I know these guys.
They've been out to Supervisor Rogers' house a lot. So we'll start. Brandon Medellin. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Les Esparza.
He's training.
Rod King. Thank you.
You guys know anything about a guy who's got a rooster up there?
I don't.
Joe Trujillo. Right to farm. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, gentlemen. Very good, thank you. All right, keep it up here. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we'll stay down here. The next is from our library, animal services, and ag commissioner functions. So this one is, did you guys have something you wanted to share with the rest of the class?
No teacher.
Yeah. So again, as trying to be the best place to live, work, and play, and you heard we're trying to push the arts and different things, but another thing that we've tried to get behind, and luckily with good partners now that we have here is libraries. You know, if you want to have a place that's thriving, you need robust arts, and knowledge is usually pretty important too, right? So when we've been expanding a lot in our libraries, doing a lot of different projects in there, and moving the library in the ranchos, and a lot of that hard work is because of Ignacio Negrete. He has tirelessly been in with all the different libraries, updating and maintaining all the technology equipment, including desktops, printers, fax machines, laptops, tablets, cell phones, and even Leo robots. Leo robots, is that? Oh, it says Leo. I thought this was like a new group with the Leo Lions, you know, and they had a new robotics team that we were going to have to. Yeah. So Lego robots in Madera County's 5 libraries. Does it all efficiently, patiently, kindly, and with the highest degree of integrity, working with both staff and patrons, and always breaking down complex technological lingo into simple language for the Luddites among us? Luddites? Luddite. Okay. I guess I'm one of those. Yeah. So, Ignacio, if you'd please come up and... Yeah. See, that's why we need more libraries. I need a better vocabulary. So, for any government to run, it needs some kind of income coming in. And it's probably the one thing that no one wants to ever do is pay their taxes. But here, I know multiple people that say, I want to go in and pay my taxes. I'm going to go down there. Maybe they don't trust the mail, but I like to think it's because we have such a wonderful staff at our treasurer tax collector's office that they want to go in and have that interface and know that if they hand it to someone there, that it is going to be processed quickly, efficiently, and they know that it's going to be in and they don't have to worry about their house being taken from them. And so our treasurer tax collector's office was nominated, their entire office, and it's well-deserved because they've been able to accurately and securely collect and process over $172 million in property tax revenues a year. And that's with multiple different payment forms. It's ever-changing every year, how it's coming in, how it has to go out. And again, you still see people walking out of here after they just had to pay their taxes with a smile on their face. And that's because of the service and dedication that your staff and all of you have to serving the community members and taxpayers in Madera County. So I thank all of you and would like to present all of you with your Chairman's Culture of Excellence Awards. And we'll start with Andrew Nombrano. Bunny Harsh. Blanca Ibarra. Jacqueline Torres. Richard Kaz. Caroline Mitchell. Cecilia Torres. Craig Arkalian. Julia Pineda. Thank you. Patricia James. Thank you. Nice meeting you. Lorena Luna.
Thank you very much.
Janet Bernard. Jeanette Bull. Bibiana Barbosa. Jason Price. Anthony Loza. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Anthony. Happy birthday to you. Daniel Garcia. Hey. Aren't you retired? Yeah.
Thank you.
And all of this with Tracy as your boss.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, let's come on in here for a...
Good job, young lady. Tracy.
Just real quick, I just wanted to thank the board of supervisors, administration, IT, of course, for all their support. You know, we've gone through some growing pains. In 2018, we lost 6 people. And with a staff that's pretty small, it hurt. So we don't even have one person on longevity, okay? So we're saving all that money for longevity pay. We don't have any longevity people yet. Yeah, me. Yeah. No, Dan's retired. So anyway, and I know that we don't save lives or do CPR or the Heimlich maneuver or put out fires or things like that, but I would like to believe that they provide the service and what the county needs, and we collect the revenue that supports those functions. So anyway, thank you. I'll get in here with my peeps. A lot more than that. Anyway, and thank you for recognizing everybody, because it is a team. It's a team effort. You know, all the money comes in on the tax side. It goes through the Treasury. Every penny goes through the Treasury, right? All the schools are mandatory depositors. All their money has to come through the Treasury, and anything that we bill and collect has to come through the Treasury. So overall, we have probably $450 million in our commingled investment policy. Half of that is schools, and so we are really involved in balancing and reconciling to the penny, and are proud of it. So, and I'm proud of them. And thank you for your support.
Thank you, guys. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you, buddy.
Anything else you want to add, Tracy?
Oh, well, I have a couple of pages here.
All right, for our Health and Human Services, we have Rayanne Jane. And Rayanne does an outstanding job on newly created part of our child support program and is in charge of the department's outreach program. This program is intended to raise child support awareness throughout the county and make our citizens aware of the benefits we can provide and the many resources that we use to assist them in paying their support. Now, we've had record collections. Thank you. And what this means, this is, again, another one of those things that not everybody wants to pay, but through Rand's hard work, people are paying now in record fashion, and it's because of the education putting out there to understand what it is and why they're paying and why it matters. And when that's being paid, it allows for family members to be more a part of people's lives because they're not trying to duck out of that. And so that helps the community so much, and we just really appreciate what you do and wanted to award you with this today. So thank you.
Thank you, Sarah. Is she a good boss? She said it real quietly.
Thank you. And for our public safety, this comes out of our sheriff's office for a supervisor over the sheriff office investigations unit. The major crimes detectives, under the leadership of this individual, recently solved a very complex murder case that initially had very few leads. This individual and his team eventually determined the circumstances that led up to the murder, and at least 4 other law enforcement agencies assisted in Central and Southern California. His knowledge of the state-of-the-art investigation techniques and dedication to following any possible lead resulted in this case being solved. The details of this case are intentionally vague since the trial has not yet occurred. But this is, again, how once we have those suspicions and don't know there's a crime committed, it's through, as we see in movies, good old-fashioned police work, getting to the bottom of it, finding it, what it was, understanding the motives to get to that point, which then helps to take those people off the streets that could do that again. And, we get to sleep comfortably at night because this work is being done all the time in the background, making sure that we get these people off the streets makes the DA's job a lot easier too because of good investigations. And that's largely in part to Sergeant Robert Blim.
So, Mr. Chairman, I just want to let you know that it's a tribute to Rob's leadership that all of his staff that was able to be here today is here in the audience. So he does lead by example.
You didn't make it mandatory for them to be here, right? No. They came because they wanted to. Congratulations. Thank you so much. And that is our third quarter of the Chairman's Culture of Excellence Awards. Congratulations to all recipients, and thank you again for all that you do.
Good job, boss. That's all I can say.
All right. Item 6B.
6B, Board of Supervisors Department, District Number 1, update on Mission 2023 Madera County Strategic Plan.
The same one we had.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman, members of the board, Eric Fleming, County Administrator. I would just like to provide a brief introduction to this item. We're continuing to make really good progress on the strategic plan. We did have a little change up in project lead. We had some co-leaders. We had Adrian Caleb and Melissa De Silva. As you know, Adrian moved on to a new position, so Melissa has stepped up and is the project lead here, as well as the public information team. So I wanted to thank her publicly for doing both of those things. Yep. And we also have our area leads. There's 8 different areas that the strategic plan covers, and I believe they're all here today. Melissa is one of those, Michelle May, Tyson Pogue, Tanya Say, Brian Rohde, Jamie Bax, Rhonda Cargill, and Sarah Boss and Dennis Cook, and they're here today. But Melissa is going to provide an overview, kind of a status, an update on where things are. So with that, I'll turn it over to Melissa.
Good morning, Chairman and members of the board. We're excited to give you an update on our strategic plan, our Mission 2023. Do I have to use this? No. I thought we could just touch this. No?
Here comes
It's like
IT guy.
Emma touching the TV screen, thinking everything.
Does it change from this, or?
Okay.
Just an update.
All right, we have oh, there we go. All right. So if you remember, we have our mission, vision, and values that we created a couple years at our management team workshop. I don't think I need to read those unless anybody wants to have an update on them. And this is our beautiful logo that was created for this strategic plan. So a little bit of a timeline, and you can stop me at any time if you have any questions. But so at the 2018 management workshop, development began on our Madera County strategic plan. So we had strategic focal areas that were identified. Team captains were named for each focus area, and then working groups began to collaborate on our objectives, our action items, and our measures. Based on input from each of the focal areas, we and the team captains, the public information team was tasked with providing a working document for direction from your board. So in April 2019, Mission 2023, the Madera County Strategic Plan was presented and approved by your board. As this is considered an organic document, the plan was reviewed and updated at our 2019 management workshop. In accordance with your direction as well, the plan was evaluated by an outside committee in June of 2019, and their recommendations are as follows. Number one, they were very impressed with our plan, and they suggested just 2 very minor things. One, to create kind of a 1 to 2 page overview of our document for the public, and then to send a team out to service clubs throughout Madera County to kind of promote our Mission 2023.
Good idea.
Yeah, that was a great idea. Since the approval from the board, each of the 8 focal areas have worked to define the metrics on how success will be measured over this 5-year plan. So just to update you, these are our 8 focal areas. We have community, employees, public safety, public information, technology, infrastructure, governmental relations, and health. And like Mr. Fleming said, we have each of those areas have team leaders that are here today if you have any specific questions that you would like to ask them. So in each of the 8 focal areas, a key element in the development and implementation of the whole plan was to develop a customer satisfaction survey to gauge the satisfaction of our customers and constituents as that relates to our Madera County services. The survey was developed in 2018 and deployed in 2018 through the 311 MADCO Services app. The results of the survey will continue to guide us through our objectives both now and into the future. This is kind of, a snapshot of our survey. There was 3 main questions and then some opportunities for some write-in comments. It's kind of hard to see. I'm happy to provide this survey to you if you would like to see it. But the main three questions are as follows. So for 1 year, we did a 1-year study from October 1, 18 to October 1 of this year. There was 1,215 surveys distributed. Of that, 249 were returned, so that's about 20%, which isn't bad. Isn't bad at all. Yeah, so the first question, when visiting our office online or by telephone, I was treated with respect and was provided a prompt and professional experience. So we're really strong in the strongly agree and agree. We've got, 82. My math's not that great. I did have a little cheat sheet, but I don't see it on here. So a very high percentage of strongly agree and agree, which is very nice. The next question, when visiting our office online or by telephone, I was able to get the information I was looking for or my questions answered and business conducted successfully. Again, very high percentage. We have some opportunities for improvement in the disagree and strongly disagree section, but nevertheless, I think we're doing very well. And then the last question was, overall, I view the County of Madera as an organization that provides trusted service and information. That trusted service is obviously a very key word. Again, the strongly agree and agree outweigh all the others. So I think you deserve a hand for all of that.
You
really
got
do. The other concern or a way to measure on many of our key areas was our employee engagement. Again, the employee focus area group developed and implemented an employee satisfaction survey. The survey has been now disseminated 2 times. It was disseminated in 2018 and again in 2019, again with the results helping to guide us as we move forward. So in 2018, we had 607 of our employees complete the survey. In 2019, we had 677. So our numbers have increased.
Yeah.
The survey remains confidential. There's no way to track it back to how I completed my survey or anybody else. And then there was also an opportunity for the employees to provide some comments. Those comments will be brought forward to each department head for opportunities for improvement. So what are we doing well? It's very nice to see that most of the percentages from last year to this year remain high. So I know what is expected of me at work. Again, that strongly agree bar is high. I know how my work relates to the agency's goals and priorities. Again, very similar to last year, and also high on the strongly agree. My supervisor treats me with respect. Again, very nice percentages. We were interested to see how many people actually utilize their health insurance. And so again, we see that there's a lot that utilize this service. I want to say that I'm going to make an assumption that those that say neither agree nor disagree probably do not use the services, so they just don't answer it. Mm-hmm. Considering everything, I am satisfied with my job. Again, some good percentages.
It's amazing how it coincides.
Yeah.
The comparison is kind of fun to see.
Yeah.
I was excited when I got to look at that. Top opportunities for development, for improvement. I have sufficient resources. So, there are some opportunities where we can start looking at some resources, and that's exactly what some of the measures are in our employee portion of our focus area group.
Well, it's grown in 2019, so that's good.
Yes.
And
Yes.
the other ones went down, the disagrees and unagrees and stuff.
Better, but still needs some improvement.
Well, I know, but we're gaining. That's the main thing.
Absolutely. Creativity and innovation are rewarded. Again, that went up a little bit, but there's still some down on the bottom scale that we would like to address.
Keep getting giving those awards out. Brett will be gaining here.
Thank you, Chairman Frazier. Is that what we're saying? In my organization, senior leaders generate high levels of motivation and commitment in the workforce.
Why are we talking about me during the needs improvement areas?
Disagree went up a little bit, Don.
So a little improvement, but still some opportunity for some more.
Yeah.
Managers promote communication among different work units, for example, about projects, goals, and needed resources. Again, an increase at the top, but still some opportunities down at the bottom. I am satisfied with the recognition I receive for doing a good job. Again, we went up,
Yeah, all things.
but still we have some down at the bottom.
Yeah, somewhat disagree went down.
So our workforce, I think this is kind of a fun slide to show. So we asked the question if we're, the greatest generation, baby boomers, Generation X, Generation Y, the millennials as we call them, and Generation Z. And you'll see that greatest generation is leading to retirement. Baby boomers as well.
That's us, Max.
I just made Generation X.
Just barely.
Just barely at the very end of it.
And we have some Generation Zs. So those are like 18-year-olds. So that's moving on up. So the workforce is changing. It's kind of fun to see that. So our next steps is to disseminate the results of our employee climate survey today after the board meeting. Like I said before, in the coming weeks, provide department heads with a general overview of the compliments and concerns expressed by employees during the 2019 cycle. And just to reiterate that those comments will remain confidential. Focus area working groups will continue to work diligently on action items and performance measures of the plan. We'll provide timely updates to the board on progress of the plan, and I'll look for direction from you as if you want that to be an annual, semi-annual, quarterly, and then with recommendations from that outside committee, if it's the pleasure of the board, the public information team would gladly create that 1 to 2 page overview and also take our plan out on the road. So with that, we have any questions?
Supervisor Wheeler.
Yeah, did you want to say something first, Eric?
Just real quick, your board, I failed to mention that Gary Savanda is also on this team, and he's played a very important role in our intergovernmental piece of that. So.
Haven't we done enough for Gary Savanda?
And he is here in case you have any questions about the governmental relations focus area, because Rhonda was kind of busy today, so he stepped in.
Anyway, thank you, Mr. Chair, and thank you guys. When we come up with this at our annual meeting up there, it's amazing what we accomplished when we were up there. When I first got elected in 2007, I started January. One of my main things was that, and this is for the first parts of the survey, it was our helping our people, and the public was really poor. And so after about 3 months, I talked the board into putting a sign up, if you remember that, Max, mainly in planning and all those different departments. We're here to serve you. What can I do to help you with? Because I walked in myself even, and everybody just frowning. What do you want? It was terrible, especially over in planning over at Walmart over there. It was terrible. And I think that was one of our goals, my goals, and I think the board grew on that. And our last couple boards have really grown on that, and I think it shows in that survey. And I think it's so important that we keep doing this, because we're here to serve the public. They pay us to work for them, and then I'd like to see it. I know it's a lot of work doing this, but I'd like to see it done semi-annually, and I can't wait to do this on the road, talk about it at the different groups, Rotaries and everything else. I know we got a lot of them, but maybe we could pick a team of 2 or 3 maybe. They can go around and have an alternate once in a while to go around and do it. I think it would be, we need to show the people that we're here for them. And this is a prime example of that. Mm-hmm. So, thank you. I just can't thank all of you enough.
And that was really what the outside group said, was that this is a great plan and you need to share that with the community. And that's why they suggested that.
Yeah.
practice tomorrow at Coffee and Conversation.
Okay, I will do that.
Supervisor Rogers?
Yes. Often said that a failure to plan is a plan to fail, and I love our strategic plan. I love the fact that it's collaborative. It's throughout the organization, and we have moved the needle extremely well in the right direction. The vectors are moving in the right proper direction for customer service, for care of the people we work for. Pay attention to the folks who pay the bills. That's been my motto as a businessman, and I think that's why that we have achieved as a group the unconventional government that we were recognized for in the Business Journal. The unconventional, we operate like a business, not like a government, and the difference is we pay attention to the folks who pay the bills. We understand that they're our boss and we want to do well for them. One of the components that I really appreciate about the survey and the way that it operates is the privacy factor. The people will tell you the truth when they're not going to be exposed. They'll tell you the absolute truth. And I think it's great that it filters to the managers as far as where they can improve as managers, where they need to focus. And that is critical, that this flows through the organization, not just sits up here at the top as some kind of glorified, look what we're trying to do, but that it filters through the organization. And that is really very key. I also wanted to point out that while we have those elements where employees are disagreeing or strongly disagree, that is going to be present in any survey, in any group, period. Now, I'm not trying to discount that. It could be present. It could be a factor. And if it is, then we need to earnestly, as managers, look at that and say, okay, I need to try a little bit harder. I need to work a little bit harder at doing that particular thing that I was deemed for on that survey. But keep in mind that there is no perfect circumstance anywhere, and that I think that if you can look at your overall performance and say, I've done the best I can do with every member of my staff, and you're still getting those kind of comments, so you got to take it in perspective. Don't get discouraged and throw in the towel. Just keep on plugging and it's kind of like my wife always says to me, you always try to win over somebody who doesn't like you. Why do you do that? Because it bugs me. So just keep on plugging and try to win over that person that maybe is difficult to win over, or keep doing the best you can. And that's what we're trying to do for our customers, is doing the best we can. I'm really, really proud of the strategic plan and the way this has come about.
Yeah, I agree. And when you look at the surveys, they're good management tools. You learn more from the strongly disagrees, because that's a place where you can improve. And it's easy to explain it in a way, well, they just don't like anything, but you have to understand that there's truth to that, or whatever the issue is. So to address it, not just explain it away, I think is important, and I think that's why you brought them forward. And even though it looked like it's a pretty good metrics, but there still was some room for improvement, and that's where we can focus on, and we just get better and better and better from that. And I was thinking of it. And I don't know if we can do this through Acela or if it gets added on, but for every item that comes, through the board's agenda, if, they pick, okay, which part of the strategic plan is this moving forward, and that can keep it like at the forefront to understand the connection to that strategic plan. So when you're putting in an agenda item, you have to understand the strategic plan and where we're going, and does this fit there? And you have to ask yourself that question. And if you can't make it fit in there, then maybe it's not where we need to go, or you need to understand how it does fit that strategic plan. So maybe that's something we can add to our agenda manager as a way to really get it down into where it matters.
That's a great idea.
I've seen that someplace before.
Yeah, I know.
Gary, have you heard of these?
I think we brought it up back then, so it's, yeah. So, any other questions or comments? Any public comment regarding the strategic plan? Seeing none, and thank you again for all the hard work that was put into this. And it's a document that can really do a lot of good, and you have it set up this framework to really allow for us to thrive with it. So thank you.
You know, one more.
It's
quick
been our
comment.
pleasure.
One more quick comment.
No, we already called it into the.
The fact that you've had the community involved in this too, we were each asked to select persons that, to input into this, and I thought that was a great plan, and I've got somebody in mind for next year, so hit me early and I'll try to tap them and make sure they're ready. And, you know, we've got some great people out there with great minds, and we can utilize their talents and skills to make ourselves better. Yeah. And they say that every person who excels in life is surrounded with people that are smarter than they are. And that's a great concept.
That's easier for some of us to accomplish. And all of this, you've taken on both of those, and you still keep me in line. I just want to thank you personally from the bottom of my heart, everything you do for me and the county. So thank you, Melissa.
You're very welcome.
Very good job.
I'll second that motion.
All right, and that's an update. We don't need a vote on that. Item 6C.
6C, County Administration Department, General Services Division, Madera County Office of Education, solar panels. Discussion and consideration of entering into an easement agreement with Madera County Office of Education, which grants the MCOE access to their newly installed solar photovoltaic system located on county property, and authorize the Chief Administrative Officer to sign. 2, discussion and consideration to adopt a resolution to enter into an indemnification agreement and related easement agreement to allow for the Madera County Office of Education's continued use of defined county property, authorize the installed solar panels, and hold the county harmless for any claims, costs, and obligations arising from the power purchase agreement, and authorize the chairman and the county administrative officer to sign the respective agreements. 3, discussion and consideration of approval to ratify a conflict waiver related to the easement and indemnification agreements referenced above.
Good morning, Chairman, board members. Thank you, Clerk, for reading the actions today. There are 3 of them before you. Would like you to consider a resolution, entering into an easement agreement with Madera County Office of Education, also known as Madera County Superintendent of Schools. We also would like you to consider entering into an indemnification agreement, and then a need arose to ratify a conflict waiver, and I'm going to explain a little bit of each of those. Normally, items such as these would appear on the consent calendar. This got a little muddy because there's a lot of parties, and I wanted to just take a minute to explain what is being asked of you. In June of this same year, Madera County Office of Education staff approached county staff to get an easement agreement signed by the CAO. We started researching, and in doing so, a couple of things came forward. The first is that the property that is being discussed is the property that the County Office of Education uses at 14 and Road 28. That is encompassed in one gross APN, a portion of which is pledged as collateral for jail rehabilitation work that has been done. And so we needed to get approval from the State Department of Finance in order to proceed with this easement. That's why we started in June, and now we're in October, and we're finally bringing this item to you. We have received approval from the state and also the Madera County Office of Education and their vendor with whom they entered into an agreement in May of 2017 for a power purchase agreement to install solar panels on county facilities. So Essentially, they wanted the easement agreement so that they could access the solar panels to repair them. They also needed the easement agreement to finalize their finance documents. In reviewing the easement agreement and questioning, I guess asking the question why the county wasn't brought to the table sooner, the County Office of Education felt that they had permission based on a resolution that was crafted in 1976. Dale Becciagalupi from County Council really reviewed that document and found it to be very outdated, and hence the introduction of this concept of having an indemnification agreement to further protect the county against anything that could go wrong with a power purchase agreement and just protect the county in general. The counsel for the Madera County Office of Education is also serves as the counsel for the thank yous, Regina, the Civil Service Commission for the county. And so they felt it was important to have the CAO consider a conflict waiver, which he signed, and we're asking you to ratify. So today, the three items we're asking for you to consider is approval of the requested easement agreement from the other party, to protect the county by entering into an indemnification agreement, and then also ratifying that conflict waiver, acknowledging the conflicts that exist between representing, could potentially exist. We've felt that those were negligible, and all three actions are recommended.
Are there any questions? Is this from the last one? Supervisor Wheeler?
Yeah, you've been talking to Cece, I suppose, on this and everything?
Yes, sir.
Got it all figured out, worked out?
Mhm.
I know you went over too, so thank you, guys.
So this was what looked like it could be simple. We've been seeing it on the agenda review since June. But thank you to you for working with the state, figuring out a solution. That solution did come from your discussions with the state, and so thank you for finding ways to do this and allow for it. So I just want to appreciate your hard work on this.
Absolutely.
Mary Ann.
Thank you.
And so if there's no further questions, any public comment regarding this item? Seeing none, I'll call close to the public comment.
I make a motion to approve items 1 through 3.
We have a motion and a second by Supervisor Rodriguez.
Call for the vote. Supervisor Rogers?
Yes.
Supervisor Rodriguez?
Yes.
Supervisor Poitras?
Yes.
Supervisor Wheeler?
Yes.
Supervisor Frazier?
Yes.
Vote passes 5-0.
You-
Thank
good
you.
job. Thank you, Marianne.
Item 7A.
7A, pending legislation. Board of Supervisors, Department District Number 1, discussion and consideration to approve a letter of support for SB 137. And Mr. Chairman, this item was asked to be pulled.
You guys going to tag team it? Oh, you have a separate one? Okay. This one's pooled?
The request, I'll let Melissa go ahead and address the item.
So the governor has signed the bill what was October 8th, I believe. So we no longer have to send the letter.
Oh,
Yeah. So
he just heard that we were
he
going to
heard,
send the
yes,
the
and so
letter.
we signed it
and
right away.
He was like, okay, Madera's on board, we're good.
Yes.
Let him know that this isn't a chit he can play.
Yeah, I got
and-
that one.
and still take away 7 through 12. It's just, this doesn't equal that.
Got
Thank
it.
you.
What a great segue.
That's what I'm here for.
Next, Leading Chief of Staff to Supervisor Robert Poitras. So, October 1st, the draft 2020 Interregional Transportation Improvement Program was released for review. The proposal is to delete 3 projects within Caltrans District 6. One of those projects being the Madera project, located in Madera County. The other 2 located in Tulare and Kern. The proposed Madera deletion project is State Route 99, the 6-lane widening project from Avenue 7 to Avenue 12. The deletion of this safety and congestion relief program undermines a long-range collaborative planning process with our local transportation commission, and also the original intent of the allocated funding for this vital segment of State Route 99. Widening this section of State Route 99 will add 2 lanes to eliminate severe current bottlenecks. Not only will this project substantially reduce the number and rate of transportation accidents, serious injuries, and fatalities, it will also reduce the cost of doing business by making it more efficient and cost-effective to move goods and people. Currently, over 500 million tons of commodities are transported through the San Joaquin Valley annually. This amount is projected to increase to 800 million tons by 2040. Excuse me. Over 44% of all employment in the San Joaquin Valley is associated with goods movement. The San Joaquin Valley produces a number of agricultural goods, including nuts, lettuce, dairy, fruits, tomatoes, and wine. The public has made it very clear that they want State Route 99 and road improvements with the goal of moving people and perishable agricultural freight more safely and more efficiently. With that, we respectfully request that this board supports this letter of opposition to oppose the draft 2020 Interregional Transportation Improvement Project in request to sustain our allocated funding for the widening project. Do you have any questions?
I like that. Yeah, I like that you have in here that it will yield immediate effects on VMT and carbon dioxide emissions, greenhouse gas emissions. That's, I mean, if that's what it's for, I think it's important to note that a truck idling while stopped creates a whole lot
10
more
times more. 100 times
than one in top gear going 55 miles an hour, because that's the speed limit.
Yeah, Supervisor Willard and I discussed earlier, and he said we were the number one, is that right?
Yeah.
In the state, in this particular area?
Yeah,
And it
we're
switches
the
between
one
us
in
and
the state
LA.
and the
for-
nation of the pollution.
Yeah. Supervisor Poitras.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This is obviously a very grievous and disturbing recommendation from Caltrans. When I attended the CTC public hearing last Tuesday, there were roughly 44, 45 people in the room. There's a couple of people from Caltrans, and the Caltrans individual, Bruce DeTerra, I believe is his name, he gave his presentation. Then they heard public comment, and the commissioners afterwards, it was pretty unanimous in the room what the thought was about this particular plan. One commissioner told Bruce that if he were the teacher and Bruce were a student, he would receive an incomplete, because it talked about taking funds from 99, but it talks about putting the funds into this piggy bank for use to be determined later. Second of all, another, Bob Alvarado, another commissioner, told Bruce that there was one guy in the room that thought that this was a good idea, and it was Bruce, and that was it. So it was just like he walked out with his tail between his legs. Unfortunately,
Cut off.
we are in a battle on this thing, because despite that testimony, despite what the commissioners talked about, and today there's another public hearing in Southern California regarding the same item. I think that Caltrans is actually digging their heels in. They are determined to move forward to this particular plan, and I'd just like to encourage everyone, we need to double down our efforts. We need to get in front of every legislator, every Caltrans person we can get in front of, and especially Secretary Kim, David Kim. He may be in the California Forward meeting in early November, November 7th and 8th, and we need to, whenever we can get a side conversation or anything going, because they're just determined. I don't know if it's because Madera County, Tulare County, and Kern County are considered disadvantaged areas, and they felt that this was going to be easy pickings. Because they were all rural areas, there was no urban areas, and to me, it's just a clear attack on the Central Valley and the needs for mobility, and also, I mean, you can throw in social justice, all kinds of different issues. David Kim, his first comment, and he cleaned it up later on when he found out, when he got a lot of blowback, was that people need to rethink or change their way of thinking and not be obstructionists.
Yeah.
And that was just, if there's nothing.
Comment on that.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Your comment on
Oh, and that's what they think. It's almost like, okay, here are your comments, but we don't care. So again, we need to. The battle has just begun, and we need to do everything we can do to with the San Joaquin Valley Policy Council to get them to back off on their recommendations.
Supervisor Wheeler.
Yeah,
And
thank
Thank
you.
you, Rob, for your
Yeah.
leadership on that and
Yes.
going up there and
Yeah, I was
representing
going to
us
thank
very
you
well.
too. I mean, that was great standing up for us. You've been on transportation stuff since you've been a mayor and the city councilman both, so you know what we go through every single day almost of trying to get a dollar for us. So you're a great spokesman for that, and you did a really great job. We need to send this to more people. We really need, I got an air board meeting, actual retreat, just like we do at Bass Lake tomorrow and Thursday. I'm going to bring this up there because this really hits us hard, the air board, what we're trying to do, and this just undercuts us like you can't even believe. So I think we need to send it to the air board executive director, Shamir. I got his contact here if you need it. And I'm going to take this letter. If you had an extra one, I'm going to take it too, so I wrote all over mine. And we need to send it to the governor and lieutenant governor, this letter. We need to, one of the things that I wrote down here is the rail study that we did, we put money in just, 6 months ago or so this year to talk about all the containers going from LA and Long Beach up our valley. It's millions of containers. And we're trying to figure out a way to try to alleviate some of that, and here they do. They just put more on it. It's just, they don't understand that. Thank Rob. And then also I noticed that in those hearings that Patterson was in the paper, I got that article upstairs, that he was trying to get another hearing in Fresno. Have you heard anything on that, whether he's going to say so?
Yes, it looks like it's going to be Monday.
Oh, it's
So
coming Monday.
I was talking to his chief of staff here locally, and initially they thought maybe this Thursday, and then she said, how does Monday the 21st look? I said, it looks good to me, but we're going to, once we get more details, we'll put it on blast.
That's going to say, put it everywhere.
Yep.
I mean, get it to me and I'll blast it too, so.
Perfect.
If we could get it before, I mean, if we know, tomorrow or Thursday, if you can text me, I can announce it at the Air Board retreat.
Will do.
And getting hold of that equal justice, all those groups come to our meeting every week, every month. They'll be there. I'm going to talk to one of them and get them to, they're always bitching at us because we don't do enough for them. Well, what's this?
Right.
What's this?
Absolutely.
So-
The latest is, excuse me but the latest is from yesterday, our commissioner, the commissioner from Modesto, Stanislaus County, Paul, he mentioned that one of the ways that Caltrans is digging in their heels is saying that we haven't put any local funds into this, and so they're saying.
Just a lie.
And so they're saying that we must not think it's important. Well, number one, we put every dime that we've got into every project on 99, whatever, and we would be putting in money into this project, if we could.
Like we have
but-
every one.
But
But
even
we-
if it wasn't, this isn't just about Madera. This is about
The valley.
the goods movement, air, the whole shot. So it's just, they're looking for all these excuses, but
No.
we've got to just, poke holes in every single
Yeah,
one
if
of
you
them.
can, write those down, just like on 12 and 99. Look at the money that they underestimated and took it out of our money that was going to stop, if you remember, the 4 lanes up at 41. We raised so much hell that they put that $6 million back, but we're still paying it. We are still paying that $6 million of their screw up.
Yep.
Well, even Avenue 12 overpass.
That's what I mean, that's what I'm talking about. They underestimated that by what, 13 million, wasn't it?
$13 million.
Right.
And they stuck us for the bill.
Mhm.
With their goof up, not us.
Because of their mismanagement.
Right.
That 6 million could have easily been in this project.
Yeah. So that's money we have put in those. We've put in money in every one of these projects. Look at the money we're putting in this 6-lane we're doing right now.
Right.
We took stuff that we would probably not do, but wasn't how important that 6-lane was right
And
now.
that 6 lanes there, they tried to take it out of the ITIP back then. It
Right,
was in
yeah, they
ITIP,
did.
right?
Yeah.
Right.
It's just
So,
ridiculous.
and this particular project was taken out, it was in the ITIP, it was taken out in 2016, was put back in 2018. Now they're attempting to take it back out, and we're like these pawns out here, that well, again, I think it's the political power.
Yeah. All right, Supervisor Rogers.
Yeah, traveling the 99, the Highway 99 every day, most dangerous highway in the U.S. And with still 111 miles of two-lane through District 16, the Congressional District 16, you just got to ask yourself the question, where's our representation? The LAO determined that that Caltrans is over $500 million a year overemployed. Why doesn't the governor start chopping there instead of chopping a small amount comparatively for our project? They're trampling on the Central Valley in favor of the more populated areas. When you look at the overpasses and the designs and the interchanges on Highway 99 in the north part of this state, they are Taj Mahals. They are the best of the best. They look the best. They've got all these crazy looking great designs and fantastic segues with landscaping that's to beat the band. But we can't even get a lane in this county. Come on. Spending 30 minutes a day to get through Madera County on Highway 99 going south is ridiculous. It is ridiculous. When you're sitting in traffic and there are big trucks lined up for miles spewing particulate matter into our air, and I am incensed, and everybody in the county is. This is not even a partisan issue. This is bipartisan. We are bipartisan in agreement throughout this county that this needs to be done. This is needed to be done for years, and it's a choke point.
Supervisor Rodriguez.
You know, Dave,
Dave?
For a fact.
Supervisor, you're exactly right. Senator Ana Caballero called me the other day, called the office, and she wanted to talk about any matters that we were concerned about. I brought this matter up, and I told her, we're incensed down here. We don't understand what you guys are doing. This is a power play, a political play, where we went to the polls to approve the original bill, and then the second one to repeal. We said, no, you got to follow up on this. She said she would send a letter to the governor. And I said, I need a copy of that letter you're going to send. It hasn't arrived yet, but I'm pretty sure that she did. This is nonsense, you know. We have to get this highway going north and south, 3 lanes. And that's all there is to it. It's very dangerous, has to be done. It's a power play. It's all political. Thank you.
I agree. This is one of those few things that everybody I talk to is upset with it, including people that could benefit from it on the other side in the rail side of the aisle, because they just see that they're getting now pitted against highway, and now it's making their job even harder. And in the grand scheme of things, this is a lot of money, but it's a small amount to remove public trust in what they voted for. It removes any kind of trust in the state constitution when there's an amendment that says it's protected, but it can be just changed at any time. You know, this is an issue that's going to it should create a lot of backlash, and it needs to start right here.
Create issues.
Yeah, and I think this is a very good letter, but just sending it isn't enough. You know, we have to, like you said, Tom, have it in our hands, hand it to everyone we can talk to. We need to talk to people elsewhere, not just our valley representation. If it were up to me, the CC list should be
Every
40 senators and however many assembly members there are, 200 or whatever. It should go to every single office.
I agree.
And I'll pay for the postage. It is unconscionable, close to criminal, I think. I agree. Thank you for bringing this up and getting our bloods boiling.
Thank you, Rob, again.
We'll be sure to update that CC list too. So.
Supervisor Rodriguez?
You know, this board knows how I feel about high-speed rail. And even I disagree as far as diverting some of these funding to high-speed rail. It's not fair, it's not right, it's not the right thing to do. No, it shouldn't be done.
Yeah.
And you're right, Max, that's, when we passed that, bill, they wasn't gonna take the funds from our roads, they were gonna have that own fund.
That's right.
And now they're trying to do that. But there's no, it's so open-faced, you don't know what all they're gonna do with it. To help alleviate climate control? Oh, shit.
Yeah. Once you find a way to take it, now it's a rateable piggy bank, just like every other one.
Take it out of his slush fund he has, they got billions up there in it.
Especially at a time, I think you made the point, Rob, this is a time when there's record revenues coming through the state.
Right, yeah, record revenues, they've got, the biggest cushion that they've ever had. And yet they continue to push this direction. By the way, I was just going to talk about the rail portion of it. Diana reached out and said, just first of all, this has nothing to do with high-speed rail. They're talking about other rail.
Yeah,
And
other rail.
Other rail, and that could be commuter rail in the Bay Area or commuter rail down south. This money, there's no promise that this money will even stay in the valley, and it probably won't. It'll probably be dispersed to other
I
areas.
almost guarantee it's not, Rob.
Well, it was the last time that they took the 12 to 17 out of the ITIP, that money got diverted down to San Bernardino County.
Right.
Which doesn't help us unless CSAC is in San Bernardino.
Yeah, that's all
Right,
it is.
But, so, anyway, thank you again for this, and send it to everybody.
Yep.
All right, on that happy note, any supervisor reports? I think you covered yours.
I think I covered mine.
Supervisor Rodriguez, any supervisor report?
Real loud. Everybody look up.
Hey, we're still doing supervisor reports.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, what do you got, Rob?
Nothing, he already reported on his.
I attended the mandatory sexual harassment, discrimination meetings, and very informative, very informative. And I got to give credit to County Council. She did a very good job.
Very good job.
And the thing about her, she describing all these things that we have to do, but she puts a little humor into it.
Right,
So
that's
she
what's
had,
nice.
She had all the employees kind of join in with her as far as agreeing what they had to do and not do. So it was very pleasant to be there. And she did a good job. Her and her partner that was there.
Thank you, yep. I would echo those sentiments. It was, all of a sudden, my 2 hours were done, and I was shocked. It went by so fast.
And she said we went overtime.
And there was so much information, and it was done in a way that was very understandable and relatable with, so appreciate that.
Yes.
Supervisor Rogers?
Yes, also attended that, and it's becoming a more and more complex issue. Why, I don't know, but it is. I met this last week with the VSP prison warden and the sheriff, the highway patrol, and the public works director concerning the Avenue 24 and Road 22 collisions that have been occurring there. Just recently, in fact, we've had two different sets of tourists who were in major collisions at that intersection. Apparently Google is routing people that way to Yosemite. Right. And a group of tourists in an RV ran the stop sign, and the stop sign is very visible. Everything's mechanically correct about the road, so the county's not really on the hook for liability as far as the circumstances. It's just people not obeying that stop sign. But I had the public works director spend some time out there for a day, and they counted 149 people running that stop sign.
Jeez.
So we need to do something about
rumble strips.
Yeah, that's what we suggested, is rumble strips. And
down here you can do it. We can't do it up there because of the snow, but down here it'd be.
But there's some big concern there. Not far from there is Agriland, and their employees travel that road. The prison, there are literally thousands of people who travel that road to work every day. And you know, people that don't know that area, they think that's a freeway, and they're coming down there through there fast, and they don't stop at that stop sign. So something's got to happen to alert them, because it's so obvious. And there's a warning sign before the stop sign, but they're just running it. And we've had some deaths. We've had 2 buses that were collided with and totaled out, and 1 fatality from one of those bus collisions. So school buses.
The stop sign that had blinking
There's not, we can't get too.
Can't get into
far
the weeds of it, but
what
yeah.
what the remedies or solutions to it are.
Right.
But thank you for going to that meeting. And
Bet. That'll be
We'll have
coming
something
to us,
back
I'm
later.
sure,
Yeah.
yeah. It'll be coming to us soon
Yeah.
to do something about it, so.
Ready?
Supervisor Wheeler?
Yeah, that harassment training was good. I learned something. I know how to go tell them how I can't pat them on the rear now, so it's really good. Thank you for helping me there. And yes, when Brett said something, you do your shirt like that, man, you livened it up, boy. Your coat.
Oh, go Gary.
Yeah.
No,
Huh?
Yeah, anything else?
Yep. Last week I was very busy. I went and visited 4 doctors, 2 hospitals, about 20 nurses, and I'm alive, so I guess that's a pretty good deal.
We're glad to have you back.
You look good.
Thank you.
Despite your black eyes.
You like my rings?
We understand why you
Still
had,
have the smile, though, that's
Yeah.
what's counts.
we understand why you had to miss. We have set up meetings for the first 3 Tuesdays of every month so that we can take care of a lot of that stuff at the end of them. Just kidding.
I know.
I'm
Well,
just kidding.
The hernia, when it was for the week before, when it wasn't in happening.
You did 2 in 1 week. That is just insane. You're tougher than anybody I know.
Yeah.
CEO?
Nothing to report.
County Council?
Good job, huh?
Thank you.
Nothing to report.
Other than Rob's phone ringing?
That was not my.
Oh, it was not? Oh, okay. Oh, I thought I saw it in the hit. Oh. Uh-oh.
I
Maybe it was
think
my.
that begs the question, whose phone was
Yeah,
it?
whose phone was it? We'll get to
Ain't
the bottom
mine,
of
I
that.
guarantee you.
And then the only thing I have to report is my coffee and conversation tomorrow morning, 8:30 at Rancho's Cafe, right? And then on the road, the first meeting in November, November 5th is on the road
5th,
meeting
yeah, what is it?
in the Ranchos, at Ranchos Middle School.
And our special meeting on October 26th.
Special meeting on October 26th.
Well, I forgot to announce too that I had a really great meeting last night. We had about 30 or 40 people show up for, they're in Chowchilla, and I gave a speech on freedom and personal property rights. So.
And I got a town hall Thursday night in Oakhurst, the last one of the year.
All right. All right, with that, I will adjourn this
Black
meeting.
eyes and all.
Did I need to take public comment on the pending legislation? Is there any public comment for pending legislation? Seeing none, I'll close the public comment and close the meeting.